Dude, how the hell you been doing?
Making it, brother. Staying busy.
How's
Staying busy.
how's 2023 getting started for you? I know we got a song coming out soon. We were
Yeah.
up in New York City.
Yeah,
my old neck of the woods.
Yeah, we got a new song coming out January 27th. Get there first. If you haven't, go pre-save it. And we were at PBR this past weekend.
So your
First PBR, first time in New York, first rodeo.
all in
one.
at
All in
Madison
one.
Square Garden.
At Madison Square
like
Garden.
the arena. They call it
Yeah.
the Mecca is what they call that up there.
I want to see a boxing match there.
Dude,
That's what I wanna
boxing,
see.
UFC, because I remember when they were, UFC wasn't like, they weren't, it was like illegal in some places, like back in the days of like Pride and all that stuff. I've had buddies go to like boxing things there. I mean, I've been there for
Do
like
they have underground like boxing and stuff in New York? Because I'm pretty sure we walked past one.
Yeah, I'm sure they do.
Like they had a fight card and everything out front, and it was like
dude,
it was like in the back of an alley, like it was went into an alley.
If you're looking for like sketchy shit, like New York City's got it, dude. You go to Canal Street in Chinatown. I shit you not. Go to Canal Street in Chinatown. They got like Gucci bags and stuff, or Gucci bags, and you go down there. You can haggle the guy down from $100 to like $20 on a fake Rolex.
We went there. Yeah.
Get all kinds of food. I mean, you have every culture like in the world living in that like 13-mile little group of islands. Yeah. It's pretty crazy. What airport did you guys fly into?
LaGuardia.
LaGuardia. Okay, yeah. That's in the heart of the shit.
Yeah, like, that's closer to the city, right? Because JFK is the other one.
JFK is a little more out towards like Long Island. I fly into Newark, which is on the Jersey side, because that's like easier for me to get to the suburbs, and I don't gotta touch the city. Yeah. But what was the rudest thing you saw somebody do? Like, what was your rudest experience? Because everybody's got like, oh shit, we're in New York City. That checks out. I
don't think it was a huge rude moment, but like people just honking the horns in traffic, and like we went to a CVS, and like in the South you grow up just like apologizing for stuff. I guess is like normal. So we were at CVS and we got up to the register, and like we forgot some stuff that we needed. So I was like, sorry, we don't know what we want until we get up to the register. And they're like, why are you apologizing? I'm like, I don't know. It's like what we do.
No,
they're like, you're not from around here, are you? I was like, no.
No, ma'am.
How can you tell?
So where in Georgia are you from?
Dublin. Like 45 minutes south of Macon.
Do you guys have I know Dublin because I think you guys have a Love's or a Bucky. You guys have a Love's there, right?
Yeah, Love's.
You guys have a Love's there. See, I know pretty much where every Love's along 75, 85.
Well, everybody drives past Dublin if you drive through Georgia. Most people.
So that's like, is it south of Atlanta?
South
of Atlanta. Okay.
Yeah. And it's a growing city. It used to not be nothing when I was growing up, but now we got a bar there now.
You guys have a bar there?
We have a bar. We have two bars.
You have two bars?
One of them's a rooftop bar. They do shows and stuff there.
No, so it wasn't a dry county, was it? Like, was that the reason it didn't have a bar? Was
It just was a population thing, I think. But it's growing. I think it's one of the fastest growing cities, like in the South. I want to say
that's a big deal.
Let's do it. Yeah,
it's because all my Yankee brethren are getting the hell out of Dodge and coming down south, man. No taxes, beautiful women, lots of freedom. All that stuff, man. And so you've been in Nashville. Did you move during COVID or like right around?
It was after. I moved May of this past year.
You haven't even been here a full year yet?
Nope.
Well, fuck.
Nope. So you're May 6th.
So you're doing pretty good for yourself, bro.
We're doing all right. Yeah, we're keeping ourselves busy.
Did you get wild the night before with it being Cinco de Mayo? Like, do you remember your last?
It was May. No.
Because it was like May 5th. That's Cinco de Mayo. That's a big party day.
No, I had like a huge process of getting here. Like I obviously got out of the Air Force in 2020, moved back home, and was instantly like, I got a job to like save up for Nashville. That was my goal. Like I was going to save up, move to Nashville, and it wasn't supposed to be a year. I was supposed to get out and like save up for a few months and move here. Ended up having to have a back surgery. Found out about it literally a week after I signed my lease to move to Nashville.
Jeez.
And so that set me back a few months. And my roommates were complete randoms and like covered my rent until I could make it here. And so like by the time it came for me to move here, I was like, dude, just get me to Nashville. I don't care like anything else, just get me there. So I missed out on Cinco de Mayo. I just showed up.
Yeah, because Cinco de Mayo is what you got to do. The real way to do the Nashville Cinco de Mayo isn't in Nashville. It's the Key West Songwriters Festival.
That's what it was. Everybody was getting back from that when I showed up.
Because your whole crew, your boys, and those boys, I was with them on one of the.
From what I hear, they had a time out there,
dude. So Key West Songwriters Fest. I went down. You're good buddies with our boy Nicky T from Raised Rowdy, Nicky and Kurt and Charlie and all those guys. So Nicky's gotten down the last couple of years. This past year was my first year going. Usually I can't go because of touring and all that stuff. But Trey played it last year. We were able to go down. And I remember seeing Paxton, like and it's funny when you see guys. Usually, you used to see them in the late hours of the night, early hours of the morning at Red Door or like at Cookout.
Yeah.
But you see like Paxton and Brennan and those guys at like 5:30 in the morning at BNA, still a little toasty from the night.
You get
before.
to see the progression throughout the day,
bro. Yeah, on those connecting, I think we had the same flight, and I remember them telling me like, yeah, we got this big house, it's gonna be awesome, y'all gotta come and party. And then we get down there, the house was like 40 minutes, like an hour. It was like on a whole separate island away.
Really?
And the boys booked this whole big house, and I was like, damn. And then I remember one of those first nights, we were all out, everybody was getting all fucked up, having a good time. And I was like, boys, how y'all doing? They're like, man, we're fucked up. We don't know how we're getting home. I was like, oh boy, y'all are doing Key West the right way, breaking it in first year. It's a fun time, bro. It's like going to Winners or Losers or Red Door, but at a beach.
And for how long is it? It's like
some people do. Nikki T wants to do an extended week this year. I don't know if I could
2 weeks.
Yeah, I don't know if I could do 2 weeks. I mean, I just smoked a shit ton of cigars. Back then, we're as of right now, as of recording this podcast, we'll see if I'm still there. I am 3 weeks off cigarettes, which is a big deal for me because I was 2 packs a day. I was the
same way.
I lived at the smoking section at Live Oak and fucking the patio at Red Door. But like, dude, I was inverted on being on smoking everything. Like I was just high as hell.
Well, yeah, when I was in the military, that was the only way we got breaks was to smoke cigarettes. Like you can't just go take a break while you're working. It's like I'm gonna go smoke a cigarette.
Yeah.
So that's like I started smoking.
And it becomes like a social thing amongst you and the guys and girls over there on base with you. Like let's have a cig and talk about our problems or catch up or get a little 5-minute break from the shit. What kind of packs were you smoking?
Marlboro Lights.
That's what I was too. I was a Diet Marlboro.
Yeah, I was on American Spirits for a little while.
American Spirits are such a commitment because they take so fucking long. Like we had Skis and Eric Van Houten on not too long ago, and Skis is a big endorser of cigs, and he said when people bum cigs from him at Tin Roof, he's like, man, it's an American Spirit. Like you're gonna be out here for a while, and they're like, yeah, man. And then like midway through, you see them just fucking struggling trying to get through an American Spirit.
That was my shit though.
Yeah, it's good to be off it though.
I switched to dip, and then did that, and they wouldn't always let you get a break if you were dipping. They'd be like, just fuck it, just dip while you're working, you know? So I was like, all right, fuck, I'm going back to cigarettes, dude. I'm going back to cigarettes.
That's kind of miserable if you gotta dip while you work. When I used to cut grass or work for like my town, like grounds department or whatever, we used to dip on the mower. It's kind of hard to drive the mower with the cig, and I did it a couple times, but it was a little dicey. But these little vape things are what I've been doing now and all that shit.
That's what we're working on now.
Yeah, it's
getting off that.
Yeah, it's a process, man. In this town, it's such a party. And what was like your initial thought when you got here? Like, what was your initial take on Nashville?
Well, I was ready to get busy when I got here because it just been such a long time with me planning to get here. And so that's actually how I met my camp that I'm part of, all my boys. And a buddy that had followed me on socials for a while, I posted on my socials, like, I just moved to Nashville or whatever.
Yeah.
And he was like, hey, brother, we're writing this week if you want to come by. I was like, I'd never co-written before. And I was like, all right, cool. I showed up, and it was Christian, Kenny, and this other guy, and just hit it off with them. So that's kind of how I got involved with them, was just a random write my first week here.
It's how it works sometimes. And then it's like, hey, we got some buddies playing at Live Oak or the local or want to go get a beer at Red Door, and then you become family, man.
Yeah. But I think a lot of people, they travel back and forth here for a while before they move here.
Depending on where you're from. That's very much the Georgia, Alabama way to do it.
Yeah, and I didn't do that. Like, I visited once. And got like a tour from a buddy that I knew.
And that doesn't give you the full scope of the city at all.
I didn't go to Red Door.
Did they take you to Broadway?
No, I didn't go to Broadway.
Where the hell they take you?
So my parents came up here with me when I visited, and so that we went to Broadway, but we didn't do Broadway.
You didn't do Broadway.
You know, we didn't do Broadway. We were just on Broadway. But
are you a Broadway guy at all?
No. At all costs, I avoid Broadway.
See, it's funny because I have friends that were very big on like we're not Broadway guys.
Well, see, what happens is I'll go to Broadway, and then I'll instantly be reminded on why I don't go to Broadway, and so I won't go for another like 2 months, and then like on a frisky night at Red Door, we'll be like, "Fuck it, we're going to Broadway."
Well, I know exactly who in
repeats.
your crew is saying, "Let's go to Broadway." It's a tall motherfucker from Mississippi that's like, "Let's go to Broadway, everybody."
That's your boy Paxton.
Paxton loves
that's your boy
Broadway.
There, yeah.
He's a Broadway menace.
Absolutely.
He is. Him and the boys, they love it. I used to work security down there, so for me,
Yeah.
it's like I've seen it from that scope, and it's like I don't drink anymore, so it's like you can't get fucked up and go there. But I have friends that are like doing a lot of shit in the music world, and they prefer going to Broadway over going to Midtown because then they avoid the hey man, we should write sometime. Hey man, how you been? Well, you know I've been on the road. Like there's all that little networking side of it. It's kind of if you enjoy that, if you enjoy that kind of thing.
I think that's why Red Door was built, right? It was supposed to be a networking bar for musicians, right?
Yeah, dude. There's people that have like written hits having lunch at Red Door. Now, were you at Red Door
it was
when
the
they
Garth Brooks song, right?
Yeah,
Was it that?
I think it might have been Friends in Low.
Wrote on a napkin.
Yeah, Friends in Low was in a napkin. There's a bunch. I think there's a couple like Trace Atkins songs from like back in the day. Like, I mean, Toby Keith talks about it, and I love this bar. We got winners, we got losers. You know, we got winners and we got losers.
Yeah,
and it's a wild time. Were you here when Red Door had food?
I got here. They had food for about a month,
and then they built this whole little platform. We have no idea what's going in there. And
I heard it was like a. They had to get approval to do it or something.
Yeah, it's just this big open space.
Approval.
I'm like, we're packed out here on the patio. Let us go in there and shit. So you move up here. Well, actually, let's talk about the military stuff. So how many years were you out there? And so you're born in Georgia. Were you doing the military stuff in Kentucky as well?
No. So I left Georgia my sophomore year of high school, and we moved to Kentucky. That's where I graduated high school. Okay. So as soon as I got out of high school, I went into the military.
So no allegiance to the Wildcats or Louisville Cardinals, your dogs through and through?
I watched more basketball in Kentucky because they have, it's a big basketball state, but I'm not a Wildcat fan by any means.
Where in Kentucky were you?
We were like 20 minutes from Louisville.
Okay.
Yeah, it was cool. I didn't really like it that much, but that's why I wanted to get out of there.
Yeah, and I feel like there's such a pride thing being from Georgia. Like you Georgia guys and you Georgia girls love, no matter where in the state. Georgia's got very different places. Like
they do.
The folks down south in Statesboro and Valdosta and Tifton are different than the
folks out
different
there,
than the folks up in Rome. You know,
take a trip to Rents, Georgia, dude.
Oh, dude,
there's some country people in Rents, Georgia.
Yeah, we've seen some shit there. So how old were you when you got out to Cali?
I was 19.
Damn.
Yeah, I graduated in 2016 and had a birthday while I was in basic training for the Air Force, so I turned 19.
What's a basic training birthday like?
Horrible.
Do they give you anything?
Yeah, actually, so on my birthday, so we were about to graduate. I graduated around like Thanksgiving time, and so I had my birthday, and we were just screwing off in the barracks or whatever during basic training. It was right before graduation, and I was an element leader. And it was like I was in charge of like 5 guys, like in my basic training flight. I don't know how they pick them, but I was. And on my birthday, I was slapboxing somebody in the bathroom. And the MTI walks in and just rips me a new one and fires me, and so I wasn't the element leader no more. But yeah, so I was slapboxing on my birthday. That's what my birthday was like.
There you go. Go Dogs. That's some Georgia shit right there.
So, but yeah, no, I did. So my follow-on training after basic was like 2 or 3 months. So I went out to Wichita Falls, Texas, which was a shithole. It was nothing but a strip club out there that they wouldn't let us go to.
Well, that seems like there's a lot of the strip clubs are a big thing around military bases.
Yeah.
And my experience is going around the country. If there's a military base around, there's a very trashy club you can go to, and some things you get there might stay with you for a while. You know, you see some shit out there.
I think that's why they didn't want us going. But we went from there to Charleston, South Carolina. That's where I did my follow-on training. And that's actually where I started playing music, was in Charleston. So I was 19 years old, just learning how to play guitar.
What inspires that? Why in Charleston? Why that moment? Ed Sheeran?
Ed Sheeran. I've always been like a night owl. I've always stayed up really late, which is not good when you have to get up at 4 a.m. the next morning.
Nope,
but,
not at all.
I had a roommate. So it was my bed, and his bed was like right like from that wall to here. And I was watching Ed Sheeran videos of him like doing his little like loop pedal thing and like making full songs like that. And I was like, bro, that's badass. So I literally had $405 in my bank account, $400 on a Martin. Learned how to play guitar, and then was just gonna learn covers, just to play covers, and got bored and started writing songs. So it's kind of how that started. And then after that, I got stationed in Cali. So that's where I did my full enlistment.
Damn.
Yep.
been literally like every time zone, like bouncing all over the damn place. And
absolutely.
And what were those initial covers you were learning? Were you trying to do the Ed Sheeran shit, or were you like doing?
Yeah, I learned some Ed Sheeran. Simple Man was the first song I ever learned on guitar. Shout out Marty Schwartz on YouTube. I don't know if you know who Marty Schwartz is.
Yeah.
He does like tutorials and shit on YouTube. Simple Man.
Yeah, was YouTube a big thing for you too when you were? I'm sure it had to be when you guys were in like training and like when you were in the military. Like, did they give you like cable TV in the barracks, or are you like watching shit on your phone?
You could buy TV and like buy Wi-Fi and buy cable, but I mean we weren't making enough money for that. Like they literally, I mean they provided food, right? So you don't really have to buy food theoretically. But I think we were making like $500 every 2 weeks when I was in training.
Yeah.
So I didn't have money to spend on a fucking TV.
Well, I didn't know if you were like watching shit on your phone. Like
on my phone. That's what I was watching stuff on my phone.
So what were you? What were like some of the go-tos? Were you like
on YouTube?
Yeah, or YouTube, fucking Netflix, any of that shit. You like because I remember. I remember like at that. Like I'm trying to think of like what around that time was like, because I feel like that'd be a thing of like bunch of like you guys would watch the same kind of like binge something on Netflix, like do something.
Not really.
When you're not working and shit.
Not really. I didn't like my roommate, so we didn't talk a whole lot.
Oh, damn.
So I don't know. I didn't watch a lot of TV. I mean, unless it was late at night and I was just watching something on YouTube. I was watching probably a podcast of some sort.
You a big Joe Rogan guy?
Huge.
Yeah.
Huge. Yeah. Joe Rogan. I watch Sean Ryan. I don't know if you've heard of his.
I haven't heard
He like interviews a bunch of like special ops guys.
Dude, the wildest Joe Rogan, one of the wilder Joe Rogans I remember was the ones that he's done with David Goggins.
Oh, dude.
Dude, Goggins, fucking animal.
Different breed.
Yeah, like legit animal.
In all aspects of life, just a different dude.
Yeah,
like,
yeah, and it's.
You seen the video of him like bench pressing and the dude's yelling at him and he's like, "Who's gonna lift the boats?" And he's just screaming at himself.
Yeah,
he's like, "I am."
Yeah, he's an absolute animal. So how does so obviously the last like probably 6-7 months have just been pretty wild for you moving here, and then talk about the quote unquote the hit or the first hit for you. Excuse the mess. How does that all come to be? The music video, by the way, was very well done.
That's cool.
I enjoyed watching that video, and I love that you had Presley knocking on the door too. I thought that was a cool little cameo.
Yeah. And yeah, the last 6 months have been kind of a blur, really. Yeah, I mean, the song happened at Presley's house. I'd had the idea in my phone for, probably 2 or 3 years. Just excuse them. Like, I keep a list of titles, you know how it goes. And just had forgotten about that title. And I met up with Christian at his house. And we were like, what are we going to write today? And I was like, feeling something different. I was like, dude, let's write something like completely off the wall, like something, because I had just written country songs up to that point. I was like, if nobody likes it, nobody has to hear it. And so we show up to Presley's house, and Christian had the little like rock lick going on the guitar, and I had that title, and it kind of just happened. But there was another guy supposed to put that song out, because I posted it on TikTok of just me and a guitar. And didn't really think anything of it because that's what I'd always done with just the songs that I'd written. And it hit like 1 million views in like the first couple of days. I was like, all right, well, this is something serious. And somebody actually hit me up, a huge artist hit me up, and he was like, hey, I'm going to cut the song. And so he had it on hold for the longest time. Yeah. Sat on hold for like 3 weeks while this song is just blowing up on my TikTok.
Which as a writer, that's a tough decision to make. Like, we've had Jordan Fletcher on here before, and he had that song Neon that was a hold for Luke Bryan. And he ended up cutting it and getting a record deal off it, and Jordan's out there doing his thing.
And so that's kind of how it happened for me. Like, I knew it was a different sound that nobody was really doing. I mean, Hardy's doing the rock thing, but just lyrically it was so different. And it felt the most authentic I had felt as a songwriter to that point. And so I had to call him. I was like, hey, brother, you're not getting that song. I'm cutting the song. He understood, and it was cool. But, so that ended up, we put that out. And I think, Grant, what are we at? 10, I think it's over 10. It's like 15 million.
Yeah, I know the numbers on it. It goes up, goes up significantly
it's
week
ridiculous.
by week, day by day. And
so that landed me my first publishing deal.
Yeah.
and artist development deal. And so now I'm writing songs and getting paid for it.
Yeah, which that's got to be from what you were, from doing the military thing to going back to Georgia, having to do the back surgery, working a job that you're doing to help get you to Nashville, to now getting paid to do what you fucking love.
Yeah.
That's pretty damn cool, man.
Yeah.
That's pretty wild how the world works out like that.
It's been wild. I don't know. Like I said, it's all a blur. Like when it starts happening, it's like stuff happens so fast and you don't have time to keep up with it, and like it's always what's next. It's never like what's behind you. And like people ask me all the time, like have you processed everything that's happened? I was like, not really, dude. Like it's just everything is always moving forward.
Well, it's kind of good. It's kind of good that you haven't processed it, because it means that the wheels are still fucking going with you, and like you don't even have the time to. You don't want to be reminiscing less than a year after the shit happens. You've got even more shit in the tank coming and going. What was like the wildest call that you got around that time?
The most wild call?
Like wild, like call, or like, oh shit, this person wants to talk, or this or that.
I think it was just the publishing deal. I mean, that whole thing happened so randomly. Like me and Grant joke about it, my manager. I was like, the day before I got offered my publishing deal, I was supposed to start a job at Amazon as a delivery driver.
Really?
I'd already taken my test.
No shit.
I passed my test that day. Like I think I went from my test at Amazon to the meeting I had at River House.
Wow.
And so that was just surreal, because I was like out of money. Like I had like the little bit I had saved up before I moved here was gone. And it was so broke. And then I show up in there and they're like, hey, whenever you're ready, we're ready to sign you. I was like, holy shit. And like it was just off of one song.
Yeah.
So you just never know what can happen in a short amount of time.
And the crew over there at River House too, man. It's a very family kind of environment. At least from what I know. From what I know over there, obviously I've got some friends over in that family as well, and it's kind of nice to not necessarily like you're going to be able to do what you want to do, and they're going to listen to your songs, as opposed to some other places where there's a ton of stuff going on where you're just another writer, you know.
And you can put all of your focus into your work, you know, instead of like working a job and like having to write songs on the side. You're now able to do it like fully. Like I can put all of my focus on like writing the best songs I can.
Have you written with anyone yet where you're like, oh shit, I'm writing with so and so? Has that moment happened yet?
Definitely. Well, the first one was Ray Fulcher.
Oh, cool.
I wrote with him, and that was kind of full circle, because he kind of made me want to start writing songs in the first place.
Which song was it? That inspired you to want to write songs.
Yeah, like he made me want to start writing songs.
That's what I'm saying. Like, what Ray Fulcher song was it? Like, why Ray Fulcher for the wanting to write? Besides him being a Georgia guy, hit songwriter, all around great.
I think it was just the whole Luke project. Because I found out that he'd written, you know, majority of the songs on there with Luke, and I Got Away With You is a banger. Yeah, he was on that, and
you think about the early Muscadine Bloodline songs too. He wrote CB Radio with Gary and Charlie. That was like their first co-write in Nashville was with Ray Fulcher. Like,
finally got to write with him, and I wrote with Breaking Benjamin the other week.
You wrote with Benjamin?
Yeah,
dude.
Their guitar player.
Well,
but still,
what was that like?
It was awesome. It's surreal. Like I grew up listening to kind of Breaking Benjamin.
Yeah, I know you're a big butt rock advocate.
Huge.
Like I am. And Sweet Boy is like we jam a lot of Nickelback on the road when we're out there. But to think that day when you go over to Presley's and you're like, let's write something different. It's a little rocking, and you're like, this is definitely different. To now. Fast forward, you're writing with the fucking guitar player from Breaking Benjamin.
Yeah. I mean, you go from like not really knowing what this is to now this is your sound.
Yeah.
You know, and it's so wild.
What is your sound?
I think it's that. I mean, obviously I grew up on the rock stuff. That's like the first music I remember hearing. I tell the story all the time of like my dad listening to CDs. Back when people listened to CDs, we would go on road trips, because I used to race go-karts when I was really young. And, he had a Three Doors Down CD, a Nickelback CD, Creed, and then he had an Alan Jackson CD. It's like that's the 4 CDs that got rotated in the truck when we were on road trips, and so that's what I grew up on.
Which Nickel was it? The All the Right Reasons Nickelback CD, The one with
The one with-
animals follow you.
Yeah, the
home,
one
all
with
that.
Kryptonite and all that.
That
on
was
there.
for the Three Doors Down. You remember which Nickelback one it was? Because one of my first CD purchases ever was the Nickelback, the one with the car on it. It was the I think it was All the Right Reasons. That had a photograph
The
on
one with
it.
the yellow and orange like flames.
Oh,
on it.
you were even before I even was. The fucking that was like How You Remind Me
Yeah.
and like the shit like
Yeah,
that. Yeah.
Kryptonite and all that stuff, and Here Without You, all that. Yeah,
And
that
Creed
was-
with arms wide open.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, that's what I grew up on, and like I tell people, like it just makes sense that was like what ended up being like predominantly my sound was the rock,
Yeah.
and so I don't know. Yeah, we're pushing to that right now, but I still love writing just country music.
Yeah, dude, that's cool
So-
that you get to be versatile and be able to
Yeah.
write really whatever you want. Because
Yeah.
you rewind a few years ago, and guys that were here in Nashville that were country artists, country writers wouldn't be allowed to touch rock or hip hop or pop.
Yeah.
And now it's like
Yeah.
you can,
There's
you can do whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah, there's a lane for it, and I want to kind of, I don't know. I mean, a goal of mine is to kind of remain genreless.
Yeah, to
in a
just
way.
be Austin fucking Snell. Just
Yeah.
be you.
Like if I write a song and I like it and I sound okay singing it, then I want to put that song out. If
Yeah.
it's something that I relate to and I feel when I sing it, then fuck it, why not?
How have you had a chance to go out and do a lot of live shows yet, or is that really something that
I think
you
it's
guys
a
are conquering this
2023
year?
thing. Yeah, we're gonna hit some shows pretty hard.
Have you done some stuff with do you have a band in place? Like you
Oh,
have
yeah.
like your guys.
Yeah.
So tell me about the band. Break them down. How many guys you got in there?
Yeah,
and
so
break it down a little bit for me.
so right now it's me, lead Wade Davis is playing for me.
Well, you got
know
Wade. I call him the Weasel, bro. I love that kid.
Yeah, Wade is.
Hey, what I'm impressed the most about this kid, and I hope I don't get him in trouble with his university for it, but the fact that kid goes to school and does the student thing,
Yeah.
but is getting the real musician education, being on the
Experience.
road with guys like you, guys, anybody really in that crew.
Right.
Like he's getting that experience. He's gonna end up with a degree and fucking years on the
he's good.
road. He's gonna be
And
a
he's such
savage.
just a good guitar player in general.
He's a
Like,
good guitar player, and he's a fun dude to be around. You see
different.
Wade. Like I'm getting ready to leave Red Door at like 1:30 in the morning, and I'm about to walk out the door, and I see Wade stumbling there. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna give this another 10 minutes and at least see what Wade's got to say. What's going on?
Yeah.
So you got Wade, and who else you got in there?
Nathan, Devin. So Devin, my drummer. So we played our first whiskey jam. When was it? Last couple months ago. Played our first whiskey jam, and I had a guy that was supposed to come out and drum because I wanted to play full band because we had all the rock songs.
Yeah.
I wasn't gonna go up there and play acoustic.
No.
And so had a drummer locked in, and the drummer texted me. I think it was 3 days before whiskey jam, and told me, he's like, "Hey, bro, I'm sick. I can't make it." Whatever. I understood. And he had a fill-in. Ended up being Devin, and Devin is just this dude like. Has tattoos from head to toe, like has the long hair. I don't know if you were at the whiskey jam we played, but
I don't know if I was.
has the long hair and is the nicest dude you'll ever meet in your life. Like,
But when he's
super
behind-
sweet dude.
but when he's
he's
behind
behind
the
the
kit,
drums, I'll have to show you some videos.
He's a fucking monster.
He's
huh?
an animal, like super animated, like does windmills with his hair and shit, and it's like the most crazy thing you'll ever see in your life.
That's how you
But-
make. That's how you make the. That's how you do the country rock. That's how you do
Yeah.
your thing. You're playing songs that are lyrically deep, like country songs that are
Yeah.
rocking, and you got a guy back there going 200 miles per hour on the drums.
Oh, dude, yeah. I mean, if you're gonna do country rock,
Fucking
make it
get
country
after,
rock.
fucking
dude.
get
Like,
after it and do
you
it.
gotta go pretty heavy rock, in my opinion. But yeah, I think we're 2023 is gonna be a big live show year for us. Got some shows locked in, some tour dates, and some festivals coming up. So we've already announced Tailgates and Tall Boys will be in
Yeah.
Illinois in June, which
You're
I'm
gonna,
super excited
You're gonna have a
about.
blast up there. I think the guy's name up there is Wayne. I think it's Wayne, because the people that put that on also own a club in Peoria, Illinois, or West
Okay.
Peoria, called Cruisins. And Wayne, I believe it's Wayne. I'm sorry if it's wrong. Whoever runs Tailgates and Tall Boys, but they are. We've never done the Tailgates and Tall Boys, but we've done the show at Cruisins with Trey. They are a fun time. They are very welcoming. And the videos that I've seen of Tailgates and Tall Boys, the Midwest knows how to fucking throw down, boy. They know how to throw down. They buy the shit out of your merch. They listen to all the. I mean, they're gonna have no choice but to listen because y'all are gonna be rocking out so loud. It's kind of hard to talk over
Yeah, we're
an
gonna
Austin
try to-
Snell show.
We're gonna try to be as loud as possible, as loud as they'll let us be. But yeah, we're super excited. I'm super excited to get more music out.
Yeah.
Like I said, we got this next one coming out, and We got a few in the tank.
I gotta
it.
say too, and it's definitely something that's unorthodox within country. A cover of a song that was put out years earlier by a female, but you fucking nailed it, bro.
Thank you, man.
Wasted all these tears, man.
Yeah, it's
what went into doing that? Was it just like you had put out a cover on the socials and it went out, or was it just like I've always fucked with the song, or like why that one? Because it was badass, dude.
Yeah. So when so I've been on TikTok for a little bit. And so when I do my covers on TikTok, I try to do stuff that other people aren't really doing, since you got to stand out somehow, you know. And I wanted to have, you know, as little competition as possible, you know. So I posted that cover, and I remember listening to that song back when it came out in like 2013, and posted it, and it didn't blow up until I posted the snippet of "Excuse the Mess." I posted the cover of Cassidy Pope in like February, I think, and it got like 2,000 likes. And then the "Excuse the Mess" song started blowing up, and then that cover ended up having like 50,000 videos made using the sound from that. And so, I mean, obviously, I went to the you know, the publishing label. I was like, hey, like, this is something that we probably need to look at, you know.
Yeah.
And so we went in and recorded it, and it was supposed to be just acoustic. Showed up at the studio, and the dude that recorded it had the whole track built out. And so recorded it, put it out, and it's doing really well for us.
I'm glad you did it like a full track, because acoustic stuff's cool, but like you said, like with your sound,
and I think that's gonna set the tone for what we're doing too, because like I told you earlier, I don't want to just do, like, obviously the rock sound is, you know, what we're pushing as an overall, you know, perspective, but we're also going to do the slower songs and the more country songs, and I don't want to be limited. Like I told you, I don't want to be, you know, I want to be genreless and just kind of put out what I think sounds good.
What do you think of the term the term that's out there, that farm emo term, where it's like the sad boy rock
farm
country?
emo.
I've heard people call it farm emo. That's what I've heard this term a lot lately, and I've heard everything being categorized as that, from Zach Bryan to Bailey to, I mean, like your cover of "Waste All These Tears," like it's guys in country music singing like emotion filled stuff, but it being fucking rocking, like a fucking like that kind of vibe being in country music right now is pretty wild, and you're seeing it with like Co Wetzel, for example. He has that song "Drunk Driving." That's a song that you could have heard a fucking butt rock or emo band put out like 10, 15 years ago, and it did well in the Texas country market.
Yeah.
And rock
I don't know.
market.
I think it's something about, like, I don't know why certain things work and don't work, but I think it's something to do with how authentic it comes off. You know, like, I mean, just my song, for example, like, "Don't mind the bottles on the shelf, the pills on the floor." That's super in your face. There's nothing clever about that line, really, but it's so real and so authentic. Like, it's so in your face, I think, and that's what people, I think, are gravitating towards.
Yeah,
it's just something that, like, they can relate to, and it's like you don't have to think about it. Like, it's just, that's what it means. Like, what you see is what it means. Yeah. And so I think that's kind of what we've been trying to touch on.
Yeah, it paints a fucking heavy image.
Yeah,
and because there are people that really do go through like depression, like mental illness, like all that stuff. It's not, country music doesn't have to just be you sitting with a hot blonde hair, blue eyed chick with fucking Daisy Duke sitting in the bed of a pickup truck going to a high school football game. You know,
that's the stuff I stay away from.
Yeah, well, that's just it. It's the real. And that stuff's cool, but it's like talking about the real shit. And I think that's one of the things that like TikTok really likes, and the people on TikTok really like, because they relate and they feel those lyrics as you guys are writing them and singing them and shit. What's been like a wild thing, like? I'm sure you've gotten some pretty wild messages, especially putting out the songs that you have so far, of people relating to stuff and it really hitting home for them. Have there been any of those kind of crazy messages? And
they're everywhere. I mean, it's I mean, it still happens, but it's baffling that people are willing to share so much about their lives to somebody they don't know. Like, just to me, like, they'll spill their whole heart out. Like, but something in particular is people are starting, like, to get tattoos of "Excuse the Mess."
Really?
Yeah. Like, people will send me, like, DMs and, like, tag me in TikToks.
Any of the lines in particular?
Just excuse the mess, I'm a wreck.
Yeah.
Which is kind of a badass tattoo. Like,
that is.
I would never get it on myself because it's my song, but I mean, there was one lady that got it on her thigh, and it just said "Excuse the mess, I'm a wreck," and it, like, was you could see it through the hole in her jeans, and it was badass.
Wow,
super sick.
that is cool. How many tats do you got? Because I know you got the neck piece.
Yeah, I
the hand
just
piece.
got this one. That was Impulse. Literally just woke up.
Talk about when Impulse like recent.
So yeah, I'm
recently?
an impulsive tattoo getter. Like,
Are you?
I don't think about my tattoos very much. Like these, I thought about, but this, I woke up one morning and I was like, I want a hand tat, and then just looked up on, I think it was Pinterest or whatever, just hand tats, and like this looked cool, so I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna go get a moth on my hand. But I have this one. I have these on my fingers that say "You will be okay," and it's like a mental message to myself.
Yeah, that's cool.
So I can like just look at it if ever, need to. I have a verse on my arm right here, and then I have one on my like front of my leg, the whole front of my calf.
So you got quite a few.
Yeah, and then I gave myself 2 tattoos.
You gave yourself 2 tattoos.
Yeah. So I wanted tattoos. This was back when I was working construction after the Air Force, and I wanted leg tats. Didn't have the money because I was saving up for Nashville.
Yeah.
So I was like, fuck it, dude, I'm going to buy a tattoo machine. I'm going to tattoo myself. And so I drew a smiley face right here. It's like a melting smiley face. And I had to lie to my mom and tell her that it had a meaning, but it doesn't. I just thought it looked cool. So it's like a super bad tattoo. Like you could see the shaky like lines and shit. It's so bad. And then I have another one right here of like a girl with her like hand over her face. So yeah, I give myself tattoos sometimes.
I mean, I don't know if you've seen Coe and Hardy have brought tattoo guns out with them on the bus before, and I am glad that we don't do that with our crew with Trey, because I think if we had a tattoo gun on the road, shit would be all over the place. Like.
Those tattoos would be impressive, I think.
Wow, they'd be just all over. Like, what would you like? I mean, I think mine would be maybe getting a smiley face on someone, just because that seems to be like the easiest. Because if I tried to do something, like I can't draw to begin with. Like
I can draw a little bit, so
if you can draw a little bit, then that'll help you.
But drawing and tattooing yourself are completely different. Like, especially when you're doing it to yourself. Like when I was like first started, like I'm okay with needles, but like if I'm about to stab myself with a needle, I couldn't do it. Like my hand was shaking so bad. And I was just like, that's why the line's so shaky. But
so is the eye like a minus sign almost, where it's like, oh shit.
Well, it's a melting smiley face, so it turned out okay because the lines don't have to be perfect.
Yeah.
And so it was just like it's kind of shaky and the eyes are really bad, but it's cool.
That's funny, dude. So for this year, getting out there doing a lot of live shows, what kind of do you guys have like covers that you'll mix in too? Like,
yeah. We'll do the cover that we put out. We'll do the Cassidy cover, and then I don't know. I want to do some 3 Doors Down covers.
I was gonna say, you just like, I'm excited. I want to get to see you on one of those opening slots, or you doing your damn thing, playing the fucking like,
come on, brother,
2000s rock cover. You and your boys just fucking rock, and it's cool because you could do country covers, you can do rock covers, you can really do whatever. Like versatile.
That's what we're gonna
do it all.
We just got locked in for a show in July that is 60 minutes. So obviously we don't have enough originals for 60 minutes. So we're gonna have to fill up some covers and maybe some songs that aren't out yet. But yeah, we're gonna do some rock covers. We're gonna do some country covers. Jason Aldean's one of my favorite country singers, so we'll do some Aldean probably. But I don't know. We'll see.
The Aldean stuff you can make very rockin' too, because that's like what Aldean does. Like that Aldean, Brantley Gilbert, like that heavier kind of shit definitely fits in. Fits in that wheelhouse for you. For you, what's your favorite bar in town that you like going to? A couple Nashville questions quick.
Red Door. You gotta say Red Door. It's where I know the most people, on a specific night. Like you can't, like I can't go to Red Door on the weekend. Because like I feel like Red Door's a weird bar, but it's when you hit it on the right night, it's good.
It sucks you in like a black hole, or at least it does for me. And like I said, I don't even drink. I'm 6 years sober, so I don't even go to the bar. I go to the bar. I go to see Ronnie at the bar to get a soda water with lime. He knows my order every time. But it's like, even though I'm not drinking, I'm not fucked up. I'm just there. Yeah. Like you get on that back patio at Red Door, bro. You'll get there at like 11:45. You'll fucking blink or turn around. 2:30 in the morning, and those red lights are turning orange and then eventually yellow, and they're telling you to get the fuck out of there.
Yeah, no, probably Red Door though. Like you have to hit it on the right night though, because I feel like the last couple of times I've been on weekends, it's been like people that you don't know, just random people. I guess which is the people that aren't in music, like they're off on the weekends, so they go to the bar.
People that are off, and it's the tourists, man. It's a fucking big ass tourist city. You see a lot of wild.
Yeah, but you hit Red Door on a weekday, like a Thursday or something. That's cool.
Yeah, I like Monday and Tuesday Red Door. See, for me,
Really?
it's like, well, I'm usually not even here on Thursdays with being out on the road. So the early in the week, and that's what's kind of wild too, is having the schedules that we have being in music, like that we can stay out till 2:30 in the morning, and it's networking. You know, it's like this is our conference is going to Red Door on a Tuesday night till 2:30 in the morning. That's our networking. Like those are like our office hours.
That's where you catch up with everybody and like what everybody's been doing. You know?
Yeah, that's how you get your rights booked, and that's how you fucking honestly initially.
Well, yeah, when I first moved here, that's how I got my rights. It's like you go to Red Door and like somebody that you've seen on TikTok or wherever is there, and you're like, "What's up, dude? I've been following you for a while. Let's ride together." Has
that been kind of weird? Where people were now from you haven't even been here a whole year yet, and there's people here in town that are like, "Oh shit, that's Austin."
Yeah.
Like, was that weird for you at first? Still kind of weird?
It's a little odd. It's easier to get rides, for sure. Now I'm not the guy not so much the guy that's like, please let me ride with you. Like, I just need to fill up my schedule. It's cool, though. It's cool.
Yeah, that's how kind of I feel, too, with doing because like I said, I started out downtown bouncing. So it's like I wasn't in the music scene my first year here, really. And then it's like you start doing stuff in town. And it's such like... it's such like a tight community where it is a big city, but
it's the biggest, smallest town ever. Like, it's so wild how tight knit Nashville is because it's such a huge city, but everybody's in the same business, so like everybody knows everybody.
Yeah,
which is a good and a bad thing.
Yeah, you got to.
It can be a little dicey sometimes, but
yeah, but at the same time too, you have your crews and all of that, and I think one of the keys to coming here is finding that group of guys or girls that you have that like-minded thing with in writing and putting out music and the guy and Jake Parshall, another guy to talk about. So I remember Jake before COVID. I forget how we had met, but I remember like kicking it with him like 2018, 2019, and now to see him working with like a lot of the guys in your crew, it's cool to see all that too, like guys that have been in town for a minute, like taking some of you guys under their wing, you know?
Yeah. Well, I mean, he's doing label work now.
Yeah.
Which is super cool. Like, I love to see like people do well. Like, that's probably one of the coolest things is to see, like, for me at least, to see people around me that I like am really close with do well as well. But yeah, he's killing it, dude. He's killing it. And he kills all the rock stuff. He loves rock music. And so like, when we went in and like when it came time for me to record a song, like because I met Jake because I wanted to get a demo done of like a song that I wrote. But when it came time and I met him and like he talked about how much he loved rock and stuff, and he showed me some of his stuff that he did for Lakeview.
Oh, dude, and, I fucking love those boys.
So cool. Yeah. Coolest dudes ever.
Cool dudes in their fucking song, bro. Son of what is it? Son of a
yeah,
son of a hitch, son of a bitch. They're fucking heavy.
Yeah. So when it came time to like find somebody to record Excuse the Mess, I was like, no question, that's gonna be Jake. So he killed it, and yeah, man, he's gonna continue to do our stuff for sure.
Hell yeah, dude! I love hearing that.
For sure,
I love hearing that. That's badass. Favorite spot to eat at in town. There's a lot of fucking food options, and if you're from a place in Georgia that just got its first 2 bars, I would imagine you didn't have like the most amount of restaurants where you grew up. But you've lived all over the place, so
yeah. Well, LA's got some good food. I will
LA
say that.
LA does have, yeah.
I don't know.
You talking LA like California? Or you're talking the Nashville?
California.
The Nashville LA. So there's 4 LAs. There's Los Angeles. There's Louisiana. There's Lower Alabama. And there's Lower Antioch, bro. Lower Antioch, you get some fucking dope Mexican food in the Nashville, LA. Yeah. You get them taco trucks on Murfreesboro Pike and shit.
Brother, the taco trucks in Los Angeles
I'm sure they're ridiculous.
Insane. But yeah, I'll have to hit those in Lower Antioch.
You got to go down there. You can find Ryan Nelson doing a redneck. Do you have a Ryan Nelson story yet? Have you partied with him yet?
I haven't partied with him. No, I wrote with him, and he's a character, bro.
You look up Florida man in the dictionary. It's Ryan fucking Nelson.
Dude, he is Florida.
He is.
Ryan Nelson is Florida.
Yeah, we did a show. We had Ryan out with us a lot last year, and 2 years ago now, 2021, where shit got fucking crazy. And yeah, he's just been in town forever, and he's like calls himself the drunk uncle of Music Row.
Yeah,
since he's just been here for a while now. But yeah, you go to Lower Antioch. There's some stuff down there. Where in town have you been in the same spot since you moved here?
Yeah, so I started out. Yeah, I'm still in Hermitage.
Okay. Hey, to the Herm, let's go.
Dude,
We
it's a
got
good
a lot.
spot.
We got a lot of people in Hermitage.
Everybody's there. Like that's one of the main things. Was like why I stayed there is because the guys that I met, like Christian, Presley, well not Presley, but like Kenny and all those guys, like they all live in Hermitage. And so
Yeah, I'm over in Hermitage. Trey's over in Hermitage. Ella's over in
Nikki
Hermitage.
T's in Hermitage.
Nikki T's in Hermitage. Sweet Boy's in Hermitage. We're all in Hermitage. Okay, so you know about the Rusty Nail then.
unfortunately, yeah.
So
Unfortunately,
the
I
Rusty
do.
Nail, bro. We've been talking about. Now we're gonna pitch this idea to you real quick. So we're trying to. So me and Nikki T. So our buddy Sean, who's the sound guy over there. You know, me and Nikki T do our. Yeah, we do our rounds over at Live Oak. Sean's been trying forever. He's like, man, you got to come over do something at the Nail. You got to come over do a round at the Nail. We want to get you at the Nail. I'm like, dude, I love when I was smoking cigs. I'm like, bro, they got one of the best smoking sections in Nashville. That indoor area,
Right.
basically cigs inside. They got the beach volleyball out there. Get drinks for like $2. Like the Nail's not a bad place to go if you live in Hermitage.
Yeah.
But we were talking about doing something, just trying it once. So Sweet Boy, Matt McElwain, we were talking about doing McElwain Monday.
Would you call him Sweet Boy?
We call him Sweet Boy. It's an inside
Yeah,
joke amongst
it's
surfers.
become a thing here in Nashville.
It's like, man, he's all fucked up. What's wrong? Oh, he's a real sweet boy. You know, he's a sweet boy.
That's every time I sit down with a girl, yeah, he's a real sweet boy.
He's a real sweet boy.
It's turned into a thing now.
It's McElwain. You know, he runs on Miller Lite, Fireball, and bad
Yeah.
decisions. That's
Yeah.
what he does. It's what he's been doing for 32 years.
He owns it, though,
So
don't he?
yeah, he does. That's what I'm saying, Sweet Boy. So we want to do McElwain Mondays and have it be like just do one round at the Nail and just see how it fucking
Around.
just a night of music of like make it like a Raise Rowdy like in the round like McElwain Mondays and just do something blow out.
I've got enough
dive
people
bar.
right now that want to do it.
And we'd have him hosting it, and because what he does, like within the round, I bring him up on stage to do a shot with like one or sometimes 2 rounds a night, and he's up there doing green tea shots, and like it's known. We call him our DD, our drunk drummer. You know, like he's our wild card. He's part of the brand. So we were talking about doing that. That's our plan for the Rusty Nail is to do McElwain Mondays and then just have our boys come out and just hang out, not even play, but just have our friends come out and just get wild and like give the Rusty Nail like its biggest night in business that it may have ever seen.
I already said if I do it, or like we're gonna do it.
McElwain's
at
in.
this point, it's got to happen. I said I'm pulling every card out on the first round I do. I'm getting everybody I know that is like got a big song. Like 'cause I already know. I know enough. I could fill 5 rounds. And
The Miller Lite's getting in there.
Of like
He's-
four
yeah.
of like four people per round of 5 rounds.
So Sweet Boy, we're trying to get like the Rusty Nail, like Hermitage has some fun. What I'm getting at,
Yeah.
Hermitage has like some fun to it as well. Like it's
does.
to me, it's like one of the best areas to live.
Yeah, I mean, it's just far enough away from the city to where
Yes.
like I can stay away if I need to, and
Yeah.
then get here if I have to.
You got a
But
20.
dude, do a freaking like a Raise Rowdy like karaoke night.
Dude, well, we've talked
That
about
would be
doing that
sick,
too,
too.
because at Key West last year they had karaoke. It turned into Trey Lewis hosting karaoke night, and him being like the karaoke DJ, roasting people as they were
Yeah.
going up. It was like he was the DJ at the DJ at the Titty Club. The way he was talking
Yeah.
on the microphone, it was pretty wild. But yeah, Raise Rowdy karaoke night at the Nail would be wild. Basically, we just want to do something like dive bar degenerate, slightly outside of town. You know, and I feel like Hermitage is a great spot too. I mean, we got a Whataburger out there now. We got a 24-hour.
Whataburger was
Dude,
bad
that
for me for a while.
was bad for you in that you were
I'd get it
getting
like
it, or that,
yeah, just 4 times
or
a
that
week,
you
just
or,
Whataburger.
or that you were sitting in the fucking line
Both.
for. Because dude, those lines.
Both, yeah.
That
Well,
was
it's the only
stupid.
thing open like super
And
late.
you have to be excited about this.
Yeah, I was about to
recent
mention
news. You're a Cali
this.
guy. You're not excited about it. You don't
Nope,
like it,
Not an In-N-Out guy
really?
at all.
Time in California, not an
Overrated.
In-N-Out guy.
I'm the same way with Whataburger too, though. I think Whataburger was overrated. I think it's good. I think I'll eat it.
Then what the fuck were you doing there all the time?
It was open, brother. That's what I was doing. That's what I was doing, dude. I was getting food. The only food in Hermitage at 1 o'clock in the morning.
McDonald's is open too. I know the guy, but dude, I end up.
I don't even drive on that side of Hermitage, though.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. See, that's where
Unless I'm going to. You ever been to Shooters?
Yes, I've been to Shooters.
Shooters is wild.
I've been. We've had some nights. You know they do micro wrestling at Shooters.
No, they don't.
Like midget wrestling. Yeah.
No, they don't.
They do midget wrestling at Shooters, bro.
Sean was talking about doing it at Rusty Nail.
Midget wrestling at the Rusty Nail. All right, we're definitely. All right, Live Oak, I love you, but we're still gonna do our shit at Live Oak. But if they're, dude, could you imagine?
You got it micro wrestling.
One night we have a round, and then after the round, it's fucking. Where would they do it?
At Rusty now?
Yeah, where would they set up the stage? Like in that bar setup? What do you do it outside in the
sand, dude?
Same. I was thinking the same thing.
You get a little fella jump off the building, bro.
Might be funnier for them playing volleyball.
Oh, dude, no, they'd have to lower the net, bro.
No, they just play like
that'd
that.
make it better.
No, they hit it under the net.
That should be wild.
Yeah,
Dude.
every shot is the shot of their life, dude. Like they have.
Someone gets one and gets spiked, and it's just fuck.
There's plenty of room at Rusty now, right?
Oh, dude, yeah, we're gonna have some fun over there, and there's that little section Hermitage is interesting too because you've got the communities like behind the Valvoline, by the Kroger.
Yeah.
Brennan was telling me a couple weeks ago someone got a hold of something and kind of Lord of the Flies, and asserted their dominance and was like firing off rounds in the little village behind Valvoline. Not too long ago. Yeah, they're getting wild over there. But anyway, Rusty now, we love you. No free ads, but we want to be a part of your micro wrestling and McAway Mondays, and we're going to have a blast. What's something you wish you could have told yourself? So how old are you right now?
25.
You're 25, so you start writing songs 6 years ago, you said?
Yeah.
So 6 years ago, you're sitting there thinking about like just starting to do it. What's something you wish you could have told yourself? Well, no, you know what? I'll make it even easier. What's something that you would tell yourself like on May 6th, 2022? You're on that drive coming up. I would assume by yourself coming up here.
My parents helped.
Your parents came up with you? Okay.
Yeah.
But you're coming up here like making one of the bigger leaps that someone can make, moving to a new city to pursue a dream with absolutely nothing guaranteed. What's something you would want to tell that Austin Snell last year?
Don't try to copy somebody. Like, try your very best to, whenever you write a song, write how you feel.
Yeah.
I feel like there's a lot of people that they have somebody they listen to. And, like, obviously I have my influences, but to try your best to just write how you feel and not try to copy a sound. Because that's when I found, like, the most joy in writing songs is when I can go into a room or write by myself. I still write by myself. Is to just write what I feel that day.
Yeah.
And not like, oh, I want to write a song like Jason Aldean today. Like I want to write an Aldean song or I want to write a Morgan song today. Just write, you know? So probably that. Which I learned that pretty quick, I think, but yeah, probably that.
Hell yeah, dude. What would your dream, so if you're going to like a stadium show at like say Nissan, or I guess for you Georgia folks, Sanford Stadium or Mercedes-Benz, that fucking Mercedes-Benz, but I haven't driven by it, but it just looks like where the Falcons play, it just looks stupid big, like I'm crazy building whatever. Yeah. But if you were to go and see like all these big tours are getting announced right now, like and the big rock festivals and all that stuff. Five artists, what's like your dream as a concert goer? We rock, country.
Like I'm not playing.
Whatever.
I'm just going to watch.
If you want to put yourself on there, you can. But you're going to watch. Like, what would you pay Taylor Swift ticket prices for?
Oh Lord. AC/DC's got to be one.
You don't have to do headliner or opener. You could just do however many. I mean, if you have one that's a clear headliner.
Yeah. Well, prime AC/DC would be badass.
Before or after the lead singer died? Before, okay.
Yeah.
You like that Highway to Hell,
yes.
Dirty Deeds Done Dirt Cheap in your face, Angus in the fucking kilt.
Yeah, I want to see them. Post Malone.
Okay, I like where this is going.
I want to see Post Malone. I want to see Three Doors Down. Just because that's what I love.
It's not my time.
Yeah. I want to see I Prevail still. I missed their concert here.
Okay. Why'd you miss it?
Ma'am,
Oh no! All right,
Grant, you want to join the podcast?
Grant, I'm not trying to throw anybody under the bus. As someone who who also works for an artist.
I was supposed to get tickets, and like we missed the date. Pretty much is what happened. We missed the date.
It happens.
We thought it was a different date.
It happens. They're not going. They'll
be back around.
Yes.
Yeah, I want to see I Prevail.
Where was the show?
It was at the
Oh, at Marathon. That's a cool room to see a rock show in.
Yep.
It's a cool. Okay, so I Prevail.
There's four. Dang, who else?
So far we got AC/DC, Post Malone,
Yeah.
I Prevail, and fucking Three Doors Down.
Dang.
It's a monster festival you're putting together.
Alan Jackson, dude.
Okay.
Just like Alan Jackson.
Prime AJ.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Yeah. In no particular order.
No particular order. They can play however they want.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just imagine the transition of Alan Jackson closing out his set and then Post coming on there and then I Prevail. That'd be a sick fucking
Dude, I want to do a
festival.
collab with Post Malone.
Do you?
Have you heard the one with him and Ozzy Osbourne?
No, I haven't.
You need to look that up.
I just love Ozzy Osbourne speaking, let alone singing.
Yeah.
Like I just love. Do you remember when they used to have when he had his TV show on MTV? Did you ever watch that? The Osbourne's TV show where he had like
I've seen clips of it.
It was like one of the early reality TV shows on MTV.
Yeah, I've seen
when
clips.
MTV was starting to become the dumpster that it is now, and no more Headbangers Ball or Beavis and Butt or any of like the music related things. But Ozzy was, or even the Motley Crue movie, like how they portray Ozzy just eating the bat and doing crazy shit.
Yeah. No.
I haven't seen that though. What was the collab? Was it
It was like a rap hip hop ish beat, but it had Ozzy singing rock on it.
Oh shit!
It was badass. I'll show you.
You a big Jelly Roll guy?
Yeah. I like Son of a Sinner.
Yeah.
The song's badass.
Yeah. It's bad.
And just like what he's like standing for, and like, yeah, he just seems like a super genuine guy. So just him as a person, not only his music, but just he seems like he's just got it.
Yeah, it's a real fucking story of like coming from pushing in Antioch to growing up and doing what he's doing now. So what are your big goals for 2023? So we got a lot of music coming. We're getting out there. The world is going to get to see actually no, real quick before we get to that. We got a really good mutual friend, and she had been telling me about you for years. Our girl Sarah, up in New Hampshire, bro. So talk about that, because Sarah was one of the first people. Like I met Sarah through the internet, like you did, and we would just DM back and forth or whatever. She'd comment on my Facebook post, I comment on hers, and just her being a big music lover. And I remember her saying, "Be on the lookout for this kid, Austin Snell. Like be on the lookout. He just got out of the military. He's coming." Like so, we'll talk about that a little bit.
Yeah. So first off, I just got the chance to meet her, like at the Raise Rowdy. One of the last rounds.
The Rocking Dead or whatever it was.
I think so.
Yep. Yeah.
Just met her, and
that was your first time actually meeting her
in person.
Wow.
Yep. I'd never even spoke to her. Like we'd just been through text and like email. But yeah, she was literally the first person that was involved in music at all to find my stuff and like support it. And so Raise Rowdy did the whole article about me. That would have been in 2019.
Wow. BC, before COVID.
Yep. So yeah, she's such a great person and like is such a believer in what I'm doing.
And how wild is it that she's a woman that's at a different stage in life than we are, being in our 20s. She lives in fucking New Hampshire. Like that someone in a part of the country you've never been to, that you never would have met, is one of your first big supporters because of the way the internet works. Yeah,
it's so wild. I don't know. It's crazy, like the time that we live in. Like you're so connected, like so well, you know. Even with like TikTok and social media, and like you can post a song and have like you can be in a point where nobody knows who you are and listens to your music, to everybody knows who you are in literally a day.
And you could walk in a room and not know who anybody is, but people know who you are because they were just taking a shit on the toilet, scrolling on TikTok, and there's you singing.
Yeah, red marks on the knees and all.
Yeah,
like,
dude. Yeah.
Like, yeah, it's just wild, man. Yeah. It's so wild how fast things can happen and how accessible music is now. Yeah,
so 2023, music,
my
shows.
Goals.
Yeah, what are goals if you have multiple?
Yeah,
I know I put you on the spot.
I don't know. I think just damn. I don't know. I
Or
just
what are
wanna
some
play-
things? What are some things that you have planned for 2023?
Yeah, just shows,
Rephrase
more
a little
songs. We're gonna stay pretty busy with shows this year. I'm super excited because I've never really done full band stuff. Like Whiskey Jam
Yeah.
is like one of the only full band gigs I did or have done. So I'm so excited to get these rock songs on the road and play full band and have the whole production behind it and like, yeah, it's gonna be wild.
Yeah,
I'm so excited.
I'm excited for you to, and I'm excited to see all that. And I'm also excited for this new single coming, which this episode we're recording this and the podcast future because we're over. I used to do live radio, so it was like whenever I would say something, it would go over the airwaves and it'd be done after I said it. But now with the way podcast stuff works, this episode will be coming out the week that the single drops and the week that we have our In the Round Whiskey Jam takeover on that Monday night, the 23rd, which thank you in advance for playing.
Thanks for having me.
So talk about the new single. What's it all about? Who'd you write it with? Why this song?
Yeah, it's called Get There First.
Another rockin' song.
It's rock as hell. Yeah. Wrote it with Kenny Whitmire and Hunter Chastain.
Hell yeah.
I'm sure you know who Hunter
We're
is.
very familiar with both of those boys.
So yeah, wrote it with those two boys, and this is the second like rock song that we had ever written. Because like I said, I'd never written rock songs before. I just had always listened to that music. I didn't really think it fit in a country setting, but now that it does,
Well, it doesn't have to fit in country. It fits for you.
yeah,
What you want to do.
right. And so that was the second of like this kind of sound that we did, and I don't know. I just love the song. It's about fighting for yourself and like being better and conquering your mental state in a way, I guess would be the easiest way to sum it up. But
Yeah, I can't wait for you to get out on the road and do those, whether it's headlining stuff, opening stuff, festival stuff, and for you, if you end up doing like going out, most people do the after the show, they go over to or after their set, they'll go over to the merch table, say hey to people, take some pictures, have that fan interaction. I can't wait for you to, with how much you talk about interpersonal like struggles for. Whether they're actually your struggles or it's something you've seen somebody go through, whatever, that kind of shit cuts so deep with people that I can't wait for you to experience meeting the fans that have been listening to your shit and come to a show and are like you see those tattoos in person. You see people singing back "Excuse the Mess" and they're singing about the shit they're going through, bro.
Of course,
I'm very excited. You got a lot of cool shit coming, man. I'm proud of you and happy to call you a friend and appreciate you coming on here. Anything else you wanna say? Any questions for myself or Sweet Boy? I think he's like he's 2 Miller Lights in. He's going light today.
I don't know how sweet you feeling today, Sweet Boy.
How sweet you feeling, McElwain?
Oh, those ain't even open yet.
He's got him on deck.
No, I think I'm good.
So
man.
what are the socials? Where can people find you?
You can find me on Austin Snell Music on everything, I believe. And then YouTube is just Austin Snell. Spotify is Austin Snell.
And talk about the single one more time. Plug that name for it.
Austin Snell.
No, the single.
Oh,
What's
Get
the
There
song?
First.
Get There First.
January 27th.
Hell yeah. Get There First. January 27th. Our boy Austin Snell. Be sure to follow him on all the socials. If you're on TikTok, which everybody is. I did my first TikTok live today, by the way.
Oh, shit.
I tried it. And so I used to do Facebook lives all the time back in the day when I was doing radio stuff. I was on like a soccer mom radio station where we'd like talk about like play like Bruno Mars and lots of Bon Jovi because it was in New Jersey. So lots of Bon Jovi, Charlie Puth, and Springsteen because they're all Jersey guys. But I did my first TikTok live today, and it's just wild. There were actually a decent amount of people in there. So if you're on TikTok, use the sound and spread the good word of our boy Austin Snell. Also give a shout out to our sponsors, our good friends, Whaletail Media, Saxman Studios, our boy Mitch Wallace with The Digital Marketing Agency, and our friends at Pickle Jar. Use promo code ITR when signing up. Pickle Jar, the world's biggest tip jar, and you guys can watch all kinds of content on that app. Shout out to Sweet Boy behind the camera, our boy Austin Snell for joining us. This has been the In the Round podcast.